Hey you guys, what's up? My name is Taquisha. This is our freedom song, and we are in the garden and we are about to go ahead and collect all of the flowers that we can collect that's left in here to be harvested. A few videos ago, I showed you guys that Thomas made us a flower press. He really made me a flower press. But I can share. Okay, so the flower press. And you remember I was like, I love this and I need another one. Well, he made me two more, and so it's perfect. So we have enough to be able to harvest and preserve and press our flowers as well as some greenery. My daughter is here and she is ready to harvest some flowers, so that's what we're going to do first. These flowers are so beautiful. She is done picking all of the ones that we are going to press. Did I do it? Yes, okay.
Yellow. Let it down though.
I have something so exciting to show you guys. So in our last video, I showed you guys that we deconstructed our container garden with the plan of just remodeling, renovating. I don't know what you call when you're doing garden work outside and you redoing it. We are doing that and just giving it a whole brand new look for our container garden section, and I'm so excited. Last night, my daughter and I came out to the garden. I was just really trying to work through some thoughts, and we decided to do a mock-up, and I loved it. And so we left everything as we put it because it's so good. And now I'm going to show you guys what it is that we came up with. I cannot even wait. So first things first, our fence line is going to be moved to the greenhouse. So all of this will be fenced in. So the plan is to have a gate right here in this spot. I don't know if we're going to do a 2-foot gate or one that's a little bigger, but this is the area right beside the greenhouse that we are going to put a gate. On the left side, when entering in, I want to have this whole section filled with flowers. And there is a method behind this madness that you see. crazy of a mess. What I did was take our flower bed from out of the garden. I took all of the soil out of there and I placed it in this bed, since I know that seeds have fell in that soil that are going to spring up in the spring. I wanted to make sure that all of that soil was right in this spot so we can have a head start on planting flowers in our flower bed. So this is going to get all nice and tidy, but for now it was just a place to dump all of our flowers and our soil from out of the flower bed into this spot. Coming this way, we have 2 boxes, as you saw in the diagram, that are going to have a cattle panel going over the top, really tall. So I'm actually going to use the fence to prop up the cattle panel as high as we need it to go. Next, these 2 beds are going to be flower bed. It would be so beautiful to enter the garden from this direction. Next, we have our file cabinet planters that are going to hold the second cattle panel, and so this is going to be an arch as well, and it's going to arch over this blue bed here. Once again, we're going to have the fence holding the cattle panel so that we can get that arch just very high. I am planning to keep low growing things in this blue bed right here so that nothing is going to obstruct the view of the greenhouse. So between the next 2 beds, this one and this one, we are planning something very fun and exciting for that spot, and you guys will hear about that sooner than later, but that is going to mimic, it's going to be on the other side as well. Finally, we come to our last 2 wooden beds, which will also have a cattle panel arching over that is going to be connected to the fence, so we get that nice and high. So in this space, we are going to have 3 cattle panel arches. And lastly, I would love to have a nice sitting area right here to be able to sit and look at the garden, gaze upon the greenhouse, just really be able to have rest in the garden. And so I would love to have some type of seating right here. I don't know if it'll be a bench. It seems like it would be a bench would be perfect. Doing something that's going to give a little shade, that would be nice. And so I have to think about that and plan it, but I would love our seating, a small seating area that's about 4 feet wide, and so that's plenty of space for at least 2 people to sit down in the garden and have rest. So this will pretty much be the angle from the bench, which will be absolutely beautiful. Can you just imagine the arches as well as the flowers, just giving that burst of color, the backdrop being the greenhouse. I am really excited about what this is going to turn into. The 3 cattle panels that we are going to be using are 3 of the cattle panels that were making up our hoop house. So they are going to be put into very good use. So initially, I didn't think that we would be able to use the container garden for the fall season, but now that things are moving pretty quickly, I think that we just might be able to plant in the container garden as well. We have so many zinnia seeds that are ripe and ready for the picking. I'm going to have the girls come out here and harvest these seeds, although I know a lot of them already fell to the ground, and so I can imagine how many flowers we are going to have popping up everywhere next spring, and I am so excited about that. We may have okra popping up everywhere as well, because these little pods have already split and started to drop their seeds. We do have lots of basil over here that is going to seed. It smells absolutely divine. I would say this year our basil had a lot of pest pressure, way more than last year, and I was actually really surprised at that. We still have some pepper flowers blooming and some peppers that are still growing, and this next week we're expected to have about a 10-degree drop in our temps, and so I'm hoping that is just what these peppers need to give one last go and push out one last harvest. It is already time to start planting for the fall garden. As you guys know, or if you don't know, I pulled everything out of this bed and solarized it by putting plastic over it for 2 or 3 weeks. I've pulled the plastic up and I'm going to be amending these beds so that we can plant our brassicas inside of here as well as inside of here. But y'all, I have some exciting news about this space. Okay, I wanted to step back some so you could see. So these are our 2 beds and you guys know about these beds, and here is the walkway. What's actually going to happen is we're actually going to push this part of the garden out 4 feet that way. So we are going to gain 4 feet. That's going to be about 22 feet long. So a 4 by 22 foot space is going to be added to this part of our garden. Adding that 4 feet is going to allow us to be able to walk on the other side of this garden bed. And so that is going to give us tremendously more growing space because we will have a walkway, plus we will be able to trellis up our fence. And so we are going to be adding space to our garden this fall. As many of you know, 4 feet of space is a lot of space to be added. And so I'm so grateful and I'm excited about what we're going to be able to grow this upcoming season and next spring. Another change is going to come in the watermelon patch. So we had some watermelons, cantaloupe, and honeydew growing in a patch here, and what's going to change about this is we are going to now take this gate away and close it up on the outside. So we are going to gain that 8 by 12 feet space. It's going to now be inside of the garden. So this is our entrance right now, and we did an addition here to grow some melons inside of. So instead of this space being open on the outside, it's going to be closed on the outside and it's going to be opened in the inside. And hopefully we'll be able to continue these grapevines that want to grow. They want to grow everywhere. They want to grow outside of the garden. They are so lush. They are just happy and they're growing, and they're going to need more growing space. So I'm thinking that we can continue our grapevine all the way down this line so that there is plenty of room for them to sprawl out. I have not given up hope on a melon from over here though, because they keep popping up. They're just not surviving. You can see there's lots of flowers. We just hope that they can actually be pollinated and grow into a melon. It is wishful thinking though, because we don't have enough time for a full grown melon to grow, but I would at least like to see them try again and again. So this is what this space looks like from inside of our melon patch. We are going to open up this fence so that this can all be one whole cohesive space. And then we are going to expand on the right side there out 4 feet. So we are going to gain a good bit of growing space. Well, I appreciate you guys listening to our garden plants today. I am so excited about the change that's coming to our freedom song and our garden, and it's definitely for the better. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you always do, I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you guys next time.